section and wrapping up. This is the traditional way we've been looking at projects for 40 years, what we call the project life cycle. So what happens before the idea is not covering project management, the ideation, the innovation, the R&D. This is things that we don't cover in our methods. We don't know what happens there. What the project manager today does, it looks into the initiation, making a business case for the project, making a plan based on the requirements, then implementing and closing. And then as soon as the project is closed, we send it to somebody else and they take care of the mess. And we don't talk too much about benefits. So what you see here is the current focus of projects today. My vision is radically different. Only 20% of what you see today in projects is going to stay. So I think project manager, change manager need to be involved in the ideation, facilitation of ideas, design thinking. The current piece of work that we do is going to be heavily automated and artificial intelligence. So that's going to happen, freeing up a lot of time for this. We will be able to run some of the projects. I always challenge some senior leaders, say, why the person who has been leading the creation of this new department, the project leader, has to drop it? Why doesn't you give her the chance to run the organization? One, there's nobody that knows more about the project than the project manager. Why, when the project is finished, why do you give it to somebody else? Tell the people to run it, right? Sell the product, complete and deliver the benefits. And the big focus for me is the benefits. How can we achieve the impact, the revenues, the customer satisfaction faster? This is the first thing I ask my project managers. Why are we doing this project? What are the benefits? And what do you need to give them faster? Yeah, how can we achieve them faster? And these are the skills that we are trying to develop. So even project managers today are very much on the left. They know project management. They have that narrow view of the project life cycle. From me, what we need to build, and again, a lot of coaching is needed, is these deep generalists, implementation specialists that can develop an idea. They can act like entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs develop the idea, they get some funding from the organization, they execute that, and then they run it and sell it. So there's a lot of development to be done, and I'm asked more and more from companies to build these kind of methods and trainings, because this is something that, companies are not prepared. Companies are not prepared. This is about the strategy implementation. It's a small course that we have. But basically, I want to finish with this. As part of my research, I have analyzed this project, which for me it's amazing. And if you know a bit about the vaccine development world, prior to COVID, developing a vaccine in 10 years was crazy. It was just not happening. 10 years. They would say, you're crazy, right? We can do it in 8 years. They would say, you're crazy. 8 years is impossible, insane. Normally it's 12 years. What happened with COVID is a lesson that we should capture. I'm really pushing to keep the learning and apply it to somewhere else. So what happened in this project that was done not just in 10 years, in 10 months, right? 10% of what we think. There is a sense of urgency. If you want a project to be successful, here are some criteria. Higher purpose. It's not just about the money. Of course, the money was important for Pfizer and Moderna and so on, but they wanted to do greater good. It was about saving lives, and every day counts, the sense of urgency. So we had to move fast. This is something that if you talk to CEOs, I would recommend you tell them is how much time you spent in your strategic projects. Most of the time they will tell, well, maybe a day per month. That's maybe half a day per month. I'm with my strategic project and I'm there. What happened with this is that the CEOs from Moderna, from BioNTech, from Pfizer, they drop everything. They spend 100% of their time on the project, 100%. I was interviewed by HBR just before the Pfizer CEO. And they asked him, how much time you spent with the development of vaccine? He said, 100%. It's called Albert, 100% of my time. And he said, usually I never spend time in projects, right? I just go in a steering committee here and there. But here I 100%. So if you have a leader and say, you want your digital transformation to happen, dedicate time, right? Be there with the teams. And if 100% is too much, at least 50%. Steve Jobs, to develop the iPhone, he spent 2 days per week. Steve Jobs. Yeah, when do you see leaders on their projects? Never. The number 3 is relative flat structure. So remember the issue with silos and hierarchies. And if you want a project to move, what you need to tell senior leaders is extract my team. Don't keep it in the organization. This is failure. Extract the team, put them in another building, let them run, let them go fast. Okay? So this is what I always recommend seniors. You want to succeed with your top 3 projects, extract the team. Put people 100% dedicated, be involved. And this is a big step forward. I think you need to use the hybrid approach. So developing the COVID vaccine had a long-term plan, well, long, like a year and so, but also approaching in a hybrid, agile way. And then this is very important, stakeholders, including regulators and competitors, they got together to work together in this project. Usually regulators, they will block you. Competitors will try to sabotage. Here, they all work together. So I believe we have the formula to solve any of the bigger issues in the world. If we apply the same concepts, the same approach, the same steps, we can solve all these problems. I was writing, I don't know if you heard about this COP26, the climate change from UN. I was wondering why 26, and they told me, well, they've met 26 times already in 40 years. And I say, and what? And things are going worse, right, with climate change. So what are these people doing, right? So how can we improve the changes? How can we make them happen? So I think the nice learning for me is that we have seen the formula. We have seen it with the vaccine to solve any issue in the world if we apply the same recipe.